Hello everyone, Joshua Hayes at bigwavetrading.com. Thank you everyone for watching this video. Just to recap everything that's happening, this has been an amazing move off the lows. Short term, we are extremely extended, but the amount of cut bases that I have in my daily charts and weekly chart scan that look absolutely great is at levels that I haven't seen since 2013. It's been 12 years since I've seen this. Now, before we go over that, I want to do a quick reminder on a couple of portfolios for members. The long-term portfolio, I want to remind everybody, if you're not a member of Big Wave Trading, I told everybody my all-in long-term portfolio, I was selling 50% of it because you never know how far the market, I could have been wrong when I did this, and the market keeps ripping higher. So that's why at the end of 2021, when we had inflation, we knew that quantitative tightening was going to start, and we started to have Fed rate hikes. That's a horrible combo. I sold 50% of the long-term portfolio, and then I piecemealed back into it here and here, and then I had an all-in. My expected bottom, based on this being a secular bull market, based on facts and data and evidence, was 350, and we nailed that low. The problem is we never closed on an end-of-day basis below that low, so I was never able to do a buy stop back above 350 and go all in. So while we got to about 75% here, I had to piecemeal into this portfolio and got about all in right about here. Or I can't remember quite when it was, but I believe it was either here or the end of 2023. We're back to all in. We stayed all in, and during this entire correction, I accumulated cash on the sidelines, and I built up cash, and I moved cash in the long-term portfolio. And then as we sold off, I bought here. Then I really got to work here, here, bigger, and then all in right here, right there near the close, all in. And since then, a V ramp straight higher. But before that happened, I warned everybody at the end of 2024 that I expected a 10% correction in 2025. Well, we got well over 20%, so I got that wrong. But I also told everybody that I wasn't selling the long-term portfolio. All the cash raised from the bank accounts that I moved the money into, these long-term accounts, the dividend yields, because I don't believe in one of the accounts I had a dividend yield enhancement program. And then I did have a couple of other long-term accounts that I never was able to get 100% fully invested in 2023. The main one was fully invested, but the side ones weren't. They got fully invested here. We're off to the races. I'm looking very good. And this past weekend, I ran into somebody who told me he panic sold down here, and I let him know I bought your shares. Now, can you imagine if you panic sold here and the market's up here? What are you thinking now? And it's possible we could V ramp higher, but I'm not quite so sure about that. And before we go over that, I want to remind every member, and if you're a non-member, the quarterly portfolio reconstitution happens on Monday. We just sold off the most recent quarterly portfolio from February to May at the end of the day before the market closed today. The SPY during that time is down 3%. Our quarterly portfolio lost 5%. But my true benchmarks are ARC and FFTY. While my quarterly portfolio was down 5% for the year, these two, or for the quarter, these two ETFs were down 11% each. So we kept pace with the SPY. We outperformed the FFTY and ARC. And I want to remind you guys, in case you don't remember or don't know, the quarter from November to February, the SPY was up 5%, FFTY was up 10%, ARC was up 18%. Our quarterly portfolio was up 32%. So the whole goal of the quarterly portfolio is to crush the SPY whenever we move higher and to keep pace whenever we move lower. But we will obviously underperform during down markets because we are in high growth names. 10 stocks, 10% of the capital in the quarterly portfolios into each hold for 90 days. And that quarterly portfolio is allowed to chase. So I can buy stocks like TOST in the quarterly portfolio. I can buy stocks like DAVE in the quarterly portfolio. I can buy stocks like SCZL in the quarterly portfolio. But on an end-of-day swing basis, I can't do that unless I get a pocket pivot point signal off the 21, off the 50, or a fresh breakout. And that then moves us to our swing end-of-day accounts. So following Friday's session, I do not have any new swing signals. We did have a couple trigger and fill this past week, and they are working out. And actually, I'm going to go over one because it's still building a cut base. And I got to show you guys all these cut bases. It's just amazing out there right now. But no new swings for Monday session. I do have some buy stops on the book. And actually, I think I'm going to be able to review two of them with you because I want to go over this weekly squeeze scan at the end of the video. But before we get there, I want to remind everybody, following today's session, the SPY is now under a power trend. The last part to get up the power trend was having this 21 EMA above the 50 SMA for 5 sessions. We got that. We have the 21, the price above the 20 EMA for 10 sessions. The 21 is over 50. We're above the 200 SMA. We're good to go. Any pullback I welcome, and we like to buy it. So what the kids call a lockout rally, it's in effect. It's possible we could go higher and hit all-time highs without ever pulling back. But with the VIX below 20, that's great. That's what we want to see. But I believe the VVIX was green today. Yeah, it was green today. So it's kind of hinting that we might be a little too complacent. But I also thought we were a little too complacent yesterday and that we'd pull back today with options expiration, and we didn't. The 5-day simple moving average of the put call ratio is around 0.50. That is extremely complacent and hints of a pullback. And not shown on this chart, we are at the 3 ATR of the 21 EMA Keltner channels on the SPY and the QQQ. And that's a logical area to expect a pullback. So if we do get that pullback, guys, I'm going to go ahead and run through all of these stocks. So before we get there, from my swing scans, RPRX, it's too sloppy. I can't get long this one. HSAI was going to be an actionable signal for me with a buy stop above today's high of the day. And the reason for that, all of this accumulation, no red bop, and the tall volume bars with recent pocket pivot point signals. Well, HSAI is Chinese. It has earnings on the 26th. Guys, that's not enough time for me to build a comfortable 20% plus gain leading into it. So I'm not going to take HSAI due to it having earnings, but it was the only one. It was the closest one. ALTS was close too, but it's just way too speculative. So what do I like? What's setting up out there? What would I like to buy of the 21 EMA or 50 SMA test, or if we can get a handle for 5 days and a breakout above recent highs? I'm going to run through them all. There's a lot. Now, I'm already getting up there, and I'm almost fully invested with the buy stops that are on the books currently. If they all trigger and fill, I'll be fully invested. But I'm looking to get 200% long this market like I was before this sell-off happened. So up here, I'm 200% long. After this sell-off and a move to new highs, I couldn't even get 100% long, which was a foreshadow to this sell-off here. I had to turn off notifications. So that's what I'm looking to do, is to get 200% long. And these are all the stocks and ETFs that could potentially get me there. Road could easily get me there. CRWV. I did not buy this stock on this day. This was brought to all members on this day. Told everybody I wanted a handle. Never got it. Look at it now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But hoping that this one pulls back. XLF. Look at that cut pattern. I needed to get to the 21 EMA 50 SMA or give me a handle. All of these. Walmart. Same thing. DE. Pull back to the 21 EMA. We're good. Cake I have. Look at that cut base. Beautiful. UNFI, cut base. Pay, give me a handle. BAM, give me a handle. ON, give me a handle, especially on this one. AGX is from the weekly squeeze scan, so that's why you see that red line to blue line, top of the list to put a buy stop in if I get that handle. It's also actionable with a pocket pivot point signal off the 21 EMA or 50 SMA. TWLO, get higher up on the right side, give me a handle. BBAR, I would initiate a buy stop right now above this high if it didn't have earnings on Wednesday. So it's not enough time, so I'm not going to get it. However, that being said, it's a buyable gap up. I do not wake up at 3 in the morning to trade it anymore on Maui. I'm getting too old for that. But if you live in a normal human time zone, BBAR is a buyable gap up. LYFT starting to handle. It's getting there. It's almost there. I need 2-3 more days, and then I would do a buy stop. Coin, beautiful right side forming. Get a little bit higher. Give me a handle. I love it. UPWK, I'm getting my handle. It's just not long enough. Look at how far it is extended from the 21 EMA, the 50 SMA, the 200 SMA, and then this dark purple line is the 500 EMA. It's just too extended right now. HIMS, give me a handle. OKLO, give me a handle. NET, give me a handle. RKLB, I am long RKLB. We bought it on right here because I got my pocket pivot point signal off the 21 EMA. So it's a low handle in a cup with low handle base, but if it can continue to up the right side, give me another handle. It's actionable. SMR, give me a handle. ACHR, here, right after I was too low, I thought, the base. Can't do a buy stop here. After this day, I'm looking for a handle. Just keeps going higher. That is what we're at risk of. IBKR, give me a handle. VIK, give me a handle. And these are all high quality names, guys. Bros, give me a handle. SSYS, starting to form a handle. I mean, it's just amazing right now, the amount of stock charts I see. CLS, NVIDIA. I mean, look, RCL. I got so many more. CEG. I told you guys I'm going to show you all of them. LPLA. I only need 4 or 5 of these to give me a setup. And then on the spec side, look at ARQQ off the lows. Look at QUBT after today's earnings, which then brings up QBTS. Hey, I was looking for a handle after this day. It's just wedging higher. There's nothing I can do. I don't chase. I never chase. I need proper setups or else they can just run without me. If you day trade, maybe you can find a better entry and maybe you're smarter than me. You can get long above 1296 and maybe this thing goes to 50. But I have to maintain discipline. Even if it means that something like this could happen, FRHC. So this one just keeps going higher, and that's what I'm at risk of, but there will be setups. FNGO, FANG stocks, give me a handle. Chewy, from my weekly squeeze scan, never got my handle. And that 21 EMA retest, that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm at risk of, possibly missing some of these. But I believe that we are going to get these handles. We are going to get these setups, and I'm going to be able to get long some of these stocks if they can just handle longer. Hood, give me a longer handle. QFIN, here's another buyable gap up that's actionable because earnings are next week. It's in my weekly squeeze scan. That's why you see that line. So I don't think there's any more. Oh, I only went over 100 there, didn't I? That I want to go over. So let's just move to the weekly squeeze scan for everyone and just look at why I want to do the buy stops. CRS, I told you guys I was going to do a buy stop above this high, but we gapped up off that China-US trade war positive news. So I canceled the order. Is it a regret? Absolutely. And I got so many. I told you guys I wasn't going to regret, but I do have regrets. Roblox from the weekly squeeze scan. You can see it over there with the triangle. Should have done a buy stop above this high, but I wanted a longer handle. I thought it was too far extended from the 50 SMA and 21 EMA. Whoops. Should have been actionable. Should have gone long this stock. There is no excuse. And then RDVT, which is still currently in the weekly squeeze scan. I got a legit end-of-day swing signal. That volume surge, that BOP surge, that pocket pivot point signal right off the 21 and 50 SMA. If it didn't have earnings in 1 week, it was actionable. Still told everybody it was a buyable gap up. So far, so good. So I told everybody I wasn't going to regret that one. I am regretting it. So with all those setups up there, let's end this video lesson with the weekly squeeze scan. CRS is a miss. MSTR, do I have a buy stop above this line right here? Yes. So MSTR is on the books. ATGE, I went long this stock back here with a buy stop above this high. I shook myself out of it, unfortunately, And then boom, ripped higher because I had to protect myself in this tape before we knew that we were going to be in a power trend ahead of earnings. So I minimized the gains on ATGE, but I still have a position. Where's my personal final stop? Right below this low a day. But ATGE is still on the books. You are still a position in my swing account. UTI, no proper setup. TATT, no setup. ALMY, no setup. CRK, I didn't get my handle. FEIM, I am watching this stock like a hawk. I would prefer another consolidation, then set buy stops above either this high, or if we can consolidate sideways in a nice tight pattern, set a buy stop above today's high of day. But this one is on the top of my watch list that doesn't have an order out yet. TGLS, need a handle. AGX, need a handle. BBAR, need earnings to be out of the way, and it's a viable gap up. There's Roblox. What am I going to do? APEI, too choppy for me. RDVT, we already reviewed it. NPCE, I need a base on base now to set up. VIRT, I need better consolidation, possibly actionable pocket pivot point signal off the 50. Chewy, never got that handle. IRS, needed to get higher to the right side, needed to get higher up. SMMT, no interest. Vion, no setup, just moving. Dash, do I have a buy stop on the books ready to go above this line? I sure do, just like MSTR. So MSTR and Dash has my capital set aside for a trigger. If they both trigger, I'll be very heavily invested in near 100% long. TGS, need a handle. TPL, need to go higher up the right side. QFIN's actionable on the buy up. Bible gap up. KINS has failed 2 breakouts, so I'm not really interested in it if it breaks out again. It's just not ready. I don't know. It's just too wonky. I'm not into it. LMB, I need a handle, but I need a drifting lower handle. This is just too tight for me. And it could easily go to 200, but if it does, it's going to do it without me. So we went through a lot. We had a lot to go over. I have a very busy weekend because I have so many stocks that beat on the top and bottom line in the most recent quarter that also raised guidance. I don't know how I'm just going to pick 10 for the quarterly portfolio, but I'm going to have to do it. So want to say once again, thank you for watching the video lesson. I hope you're learning something. It is a bull market. We're under a power trend. You know I'm looking for handles on the swing side. Quarterly portfolio, doing great. It's doing exactly what it should be doing in an up market and in a down market. And long term, we're sitting pretty.